Hello traders, welcome to part 2 of the 3 webinars on the Bungee, the Semaphores and the Wavy Tunnel. Welcome everybody. I hope you all found yesterday's session very useful, and I hope you find today's even more useful than that. Let's see who we've got. Oh, we've got an excellent turnout. So we will make an immediate start. We are going to run through the Euro USD daily chart, and we're going to look at what the Bungee and the Semaphores tell us about what might happen next. And then we're going to examine a series of snapshots of charts, looking at wavy tunnel trades and how the Semaphores and the Bungee help confirm the trade. Okay, that's the plan. Lots of slides to get through, so we'll get on with it. Okay. So we have to continually bear in mind that the markets are to some degree chaotic, and that moves can be random in direction and size. But wherever we can find repeating patterns that give us a high probability outcome, we use them to our advantage. Okay. So we're going to look at those clues in action now on Strategy Tester from MT4. You can do the same thing yourself in your own. Here it is, and here's the Euro USD daily chart. And there are a series of things that we need to be looking at just as we work through this chart. Okay, I know, and some of this will become clear later, both today and tomorrow. I know at that point that price is going to go down until we get a lower Royal Semaphore. Okay, so let's see what happens to price action by advancing the chart. Oh, there we go. It's just a trick getting the right bit of software going here with the F12 button to advance the chart. So there we were, we went up. We were never going to make a new high because we knew we were coming down for a lower Royal Semaphore. Yeah. What I forgot to mention here, well, no, we'll keep it running. At this point here, and we touched on this yesterday, I know price is coming back below that level for a yellow semaphore. So when it retraced, that's tradable on the lower time frames. This is a daily chart. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see what happens. We know what we expect. There's the yellow semaphore. Yeah, it's moving away to there's the lower Royal. Yeah, we knew they were coming because of what the Bungee and what the Semaphores told us, and price action relative to the wave and the tunnel. Yeah. So there's our lower Royal Semaphore. It's moving away to the right. We'll keep it going. Okay, so we've started to move up. Now, we know that move up is coming. Why did we know that move up was coming? Because across here, we've got Bungee divergence. Yeah. Let's keep it going. Bungee divergence guiding, telling us when we're going to turn around. Okay. Here's a bungee stretch away, and we're looking for a new low. This is putting into practice what we learned. If the green and yellow stay low, this is going to go lower. There it goes. Okay, let's keep moving through. We're running up to another incidence of bungee divergence. Lower low on price, higher low on the red, the blue, and the green, and even the yellow. Yeah, plus we have awesome oscillator bar divergence here, and in fact across here. Yeah. So we'll keep the charts moving. Okay, we now have a situation where we know we're going higher. This is not turning round here. It might look like it is, but it's not turning round. This is a snap back to the yellow. Yeah, that's not going to make a new low. Even though the yellow is below halfway, this is not going to go for a new low. Yeah, I've not been watching. Yeah. Sorry, I had my chat covered up. Henry, I'll tell you why you need a lower royal tomorrow. We're going to specifically address that. Yeah. And in this case, yes, Snorri. Snorri, you need to turn your text to public if you want to make comments so everybody can see them. And you're absolutely right. You've been paying attention in the rooms. We know at this point, right here, the green bungee went above, and we learnt this yesterday. When the green bungee goes into the upper reversal zone and price crosses the wave, the missing link is an upper yellow semaphore. So price is going up. Yeah. Well, now what have we got? Once again, bungee divergence across the top. Yeah. So this is going to come down, isn't it? Oh, what a surprise. Same thing again. Bungee divergence. Yeah, it's not reflected in the awesome oscillator, but it's reflected in the bungee. We must be going up. Okay, there we go again. We've got more bungee divergence at the top here. The bungees have rolled over instead of coming to a sharp reversal. We don't expect to make a new low. Okay. And we have a typical bounce off the tunnel trade where our target is the opposite side of the wave. There it goes, bungee stretch away. And there we do, we shot back up. Yeah. What else did I want to tell you? Oh, breakout 1, breakout 3 combination we just missed. Yeah, look at the bungee stretch away down here. That move down and that move away on the bungee. We snap back up, nice and sharp. All the other bungees, blue, green and yellow, are the opposite side of the channel. Lovely setup for a breakout 3, and that's exactly what happened. I'm going to try and stop this earlier so that we can see these things happening really. Spike high for divergence. Watch for those spikes, yeah? Watch for those spikes because they are almost guaranteed to give you divergence. Yeah, look at it. Some fantastic divergence there for a higher high. End of move. We're going down. Snorri tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. So if you were unsure about where the top was, or you wanted confirmation, I mean, yes, we've got nice support resistance level up here, weekly and monthly pivots, but look at that divergence. Okay. See where we're going. Nice little move down, breakout 3 back up. Look at the bungee for this breakout 3. Yeah, stretch away the blue and red, bungee turns over, and then price crosses back above the wave and the filter. That's a nicely confirmed breakout 3 with a very high probability of success. If you don't get that on the bungee, if the blue or the red don't turn back up before the breakout, you have to question whether it will go to a new high or not. It quite probably will not. Yeah, so the bungee helps to filter out what looks like a breakout 3 trade from one that actually is a breakout 3 trade. Let's keep this going then. This could be going higher, could it? If we get a snap back up, we could bounce off the filter. Well, it could, but I think it's highly unlikely because all the bungees have rolled over. All the bungees are pointing down. And we have what we talked about yesterday. We have a bungee pinch and we have a bungee squeeze, one after the other. Yeah. Do we have divergence as well? I think we do, slightly on the red. So a number of things. The bungees have all turned over. We've got a pinch and a squeeze, and the likelihood is that this is going to go lower. Okay. One more candle then, let's see. Green candle. Bounce off the wave here. Is this a breakout three? It's a nice three-wave move into the wave. It's a nice touch of the wave. We've got a red semaphore. Everything seems to be lining up for a breakout three to go higher. But what was I just talking about? If the blue bungee does not turn over, yeah, you have to wait for the blue bungee to turn up. Okay. Let's see what happens. Yeah, we went higher. And the trade wasn't actually confirmed until that next candle look, when the blue bungee turned up. It's there, right at the top there, not down here. The blue bungee had not turned over and we could have gone lower. You need to wait for those. You might lose a few pips every now and again, but you might save yourself a lot of pips. Well, you need both. I will try and explain that near the end. Just ask that one again, Renzo, near the end. We'll do questions and answers at the end, if you don't mind. There's a lot to get through here. Okay, there's another pinch on the bungee. So we're looking for a squeeze now, yeah? We've got awesome oscillator divergence at the top here, but we don't have bungee divergence yet. Yeah, so we're looking for a squeeze. There was the pinch. There's a squeeze. There's the divergence. Now we're going. Now we're going. There we go. Now we are going lower. A fair bit lower, because we have an initial move, a retrace, and we would now think we're going to go lower. And the thing to look at on the bungee for that is that it reflected in this snapback. The black and purple snapback right to the top of the channel and turned over again, while the rest of the bungees were going down. So this has got further to go in the downward direction. If you weren't able to establish that from the way the wave count was setting up, you would certainly be able to establish it from the bungee. Yeah. And of course, the blue semaphore appeared up here, giving us a matching pair. That also gives us a clue that that little move up was over. And sure enough, there we go. Right, what do we know now? Are we going back up to a new high from here? Same old thing. We learnt it yesterday. the chances are here, if I was looking at this chart, I would say, and we say it quite often in the room, we even draw it on the chart so that we can go back and check how accurate we were. We would argue that we were going up for a retrace because this is a price to wave, and then we were going to get a fill the gap. Yeah. But certainly we know we're going lower than here before we go higher than there. Yeah. So even at this point right here, we could go short. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't, not with the bungees at the bottom of the channel. I'd wait for the retrace. But let's pretend we went short right there. Because at that point, I know I'm going to take that low point out before I go to a new high. So stop loss at the top. We went lower. And what the reason I knew we were going lower was this yellow semaphore was missing until this candle. Yeah. Now, sometimes that can happen. You can find that happens over quite a number of candles, 3, 4, 5 candles, and we travel quite a way. But the point is we had the confidence that we were not going up from there, we were coming down. I did see, I'm just hesitating because I can see this, which I hadn't prepared for. Look at that. A lower high. Look at the bungee, the blue bungee. Hidden divergence. Hidden divergence. That tells us we're going lower. I'd missed that one when I looked through this before. Yeah, telling us we're going down. Okay. Let's keep looking. I suspect we're going lower. We need this. This is a noble semaphore. We need it down the other side of the tunnel, except on rare occasions, which this might be, where it just comes down to the tunnel. So I suspect that we need this down to the tunnel, and we need the yellow bungee to travel further. It needs to come down into the low reversal zone because we've got that appeared. Noble semaphores are associated with the yellow bungee crossing the channel. Let's keep going. Well, the yellow bungee is way down here now. It crossed in those 2 candles. It came right down. And for a short-term trade, this is a daily chart. At this point, we've got divergence on the black bungee for this move down and a bounce off the tunnel. So the high probability this is going to the top of the wave, because that's what they do. More often than not, that's what they do. Yeah, it might be about a breakout 4 that goes to a new high, or it might be just the A leg of the correction coming down. That's irrelevant. what we know is we're going to the top of the tunnel, top of the wave, sorry. And there it went. So in the next 3 days, yeah, we were able to trade long on the lower time frames and catch that move up. Okay, are we going for an upper yellow semaphore? Do you think? Have we met the conditions? We learnt this yesterday. What are they? Yeah, sometimes I ask questions designed to catch you out. We don't know we're going for an upper yellow semaphore right now because the green bungee's not reached the top of the channel. Yeah, we could quite happily come to a new low. Now, we know we're going up for a yellow semaphore. The green bungee's coming to the up. So now we've got confirmation. Now we're not taking a risk. We're relying on very high probability that from here we're going higher for a yellow semaphore. It's very tempting to see the two blue semaphores here and think we're coming down again. Let's see what happens. Yellow semaphore. No surprise. Now we've got the yellow semaphore, we can think about coming down, and we might come down, but not too far. Look at this, the yellow bungee's come past halfway. The high probability is that it moves higher. And unfortunately, that's brought us up to date on the chart. I didn't set it going until now. We can go look at our own charts. If we close that. For the euro, bear with me a second. We need to move that out of the way. Grab the euro. And it's not much better. We haven't advanced much in the last few days. We've been going sideways. And that tends to happen. That tends to happen just before Christmas. So there you go. We went through a section of chart there where the bungee was telling us or guiding us as to what might happen next. So if you've got a chart pattern, if you've got a harmonic, if you've got a support resistance level, turn to the bungee, turn to the semaphores for confirmation. Okay. So let's look at some trades. Let's look at some of those trades and look at them in detail. Yeah. For a price to wave trade, we're looking for a pinch and a squeeze. We're looking for the end of a move. Doesn't matter what time frame it's on. We're looking for the pinch, the squeeze, and that gives us confidence in the return to the wave trade. Yeah, and what you can't see in a static chart is that the Royal Semaphore moved to the right. It had appeared at least once beforehand, and then it moved over to the right. So when those setups happen, yeah, if you're looking for price to wave, the returning of price to wave, that's the sort of thing to look for. Yeah. The other thing you can look for on this chart for a return to the wave. Here's a move. We didn't get a candle close below the filter. We like to see that, but we didn't get it. And then we moved up, and you don't know, we could have been going up to a new high. But look at this bungee snapback of the black bungee. Yeah. And the other the blue and the red bungees haven't really reacted. The blue's still going down on this. So you know at the end of this retrace that there is a trade down to the wave. This is a daily chart, and that is probably a fill the gap trade on the H4 chart. So the bungee is helping us know, yeah, at this point, the bungee is helping us know whether it's going to go higher or lower. The black bungee does not stay long in the upper reversal zone or the lower reversal zone. So once it gets there, we expect a turnaround. So there are some examples of wavy tunnel helping you with your price to wave trade. Okay. So we advance the chart slightly. Here's that price to wave setting up. Now we've allowed 5 more candles to go by going up here, and we've got a failed snapback. Once again, we've got that same thing I was talking about. This involved the black and the purple going right to the top, and these other bungees didn't really make much of an attempt at all at turning back up. So this is going to come lower. Yeah. So what I like to see on any chart for a return to the wave is a pinch, a squeeze, and a failed snapback in a row, one after the other. And that's an excellent confirmation of a price to wave. And you don't have to deal with a retrace. You're not having to suffer this retrace and the mental anguish as to whether it might continue to a new high if you wait. Yeah, it's some squeezes are bigger than others. We have to consider it as a squeeze, Henry, here, because we've made a new high. Okay, we've gone to a new high. It's not a pinch, obviously. And some are more distinct than others. But you get used to it. You just do. The more you use this, the more you get used to it. Yeah, and there on this next slide, we can see that the price to wave actually continued. Yeah. Right, and at this point, we can tell that the price to wave has ended and we are starting the retrace. Why? Because the bungee strands have turned up, all of them, for this snap back up to the yellow. The red and the blue bungees have gone divergent for the low, down here, for that bit. And we are going back up. Yeah. Plus, in the gap, we have the appearance of a yellow or a red semaphore as opposed to a blue one. Yeah. Now, what else does this chart tell us? This chart tells us that in a few days' time, there's going to be an absolutely superb trade short. Why? Yeah, why? Snorri's right on it. Snorri's right on it. Well, the fill the gap hasn't developed yet. Yeah. And if this had been a yellow semaphore, we could easily get caught out with a new high. How many of you have been caught out taking a fill the gap trade somewhere in here, and then it turns around on you and goes to a new high? Yeah. We need awesome oscillator divergence. Yes, sure we do. Doesn't mean we can't go lower first. But Snorri and George have given you the answer. What we learned yesterday was that if price crosses the wave and the green bungee crosses the channel, then very high probability we need a lower yellow semaphore. So this is going to be a retrace and down for a fill the gap. Yeah, the retrace has kicked in. We already discussed that. It's the end of the price to wave element. And then we need to fill the gap, don't we? So we advance the chart a little bit more. What can we see? Well, there's the retrace going on as predicted. Yeah. We have a failed snapback up, but have we? Yeah, the clue's in the text up here. The blue hasn't rolled over down again. What's likely to happen? Yeah, not a move down, that's for sure. Not until the blue turns over. Let's have a look. Sure enough, the next two candles were long. Yeah. Now the snapback includes the blue. It's gone slightly higher and it's now rolled over. Look, it's pointing down. Yeah. We're expecting the snapback, not necessarily into the low reversal zone, but down to the green bungee. Yeah. And then up to the yellow bungee. Yeah, we've still got our matching pair of red semaphores, so we're still quite happy about that, although the red could move to the right if it wanted, it doesn't matter. This could have gone to a new high if it wanted, it doesn't matter. The point is we've got a situation now where we think we might be going down. And we did. There it is. Yeah. And we're already set now at the end of the fill the gap. Yeah. With the bungees all turning back up. And we've got divergence on the smaller, on the shorter time frame bungees, on the faster bungees. Yeah, we've got red up, black up, purple up, black up there, red up. We've got divergence across the bottom and we've hit the tunnel. We like to see yellow semaphores come below the tunnel. We like to see these retraces, wave fours go below the tunnel. More often than not, they do it. So the theory is now, having turned around and got the confirmation, that we go at least to the top of the wave for a bounce off the tunnel. Even if it's not, even if this does not go to a new high, if it comes up and comes down again first, we know we're going to take out the top of the wave. on the retrace. We just know it because that's what happens, and there it is. Yeah. So now we can look at how things are panning out. At this point, once again, we're looking for an upper yellow semaphore, aren't we? I'm not going to follow this through forever. But there's our bounce off the tunnel, successful bounce off the tunnel trade. You can see everything heading higher. Yeah. As predicted, these red and blues came down to the green. And we were expecting the green to come back up to the yellow, but as time progressed, the yellow came lower. So now we have all bungees at the bottom, and we're looking for a move in the opposite direction. Okay, let's look at some breakout threes. For a breakout three, we need a bungee stretch away on the move down. There it is. A bungee snapback. All the strands turn back up. Certainly red and blue. Green if it's involved in the stretch away, but red and blue we're looking for. And that should be a good breakout three. Same thing over here. Move down creates a stretch away. Yeah. Now the snapback hasn't happened until there. Yeah, and not until that point, that candle, has the blue bungee turned up. And up to that point, there was a possibility it could have gone lower. Always wait for the blue bungee to go up. Then we've got a big candle. But there is a lovely setup on the bungee for a breakout three. Look at the stretch away. It's fantastic. And that's the point we entered. Close of candle. And there's the pips that we could have made. Yeah. At this point, although we have a semaphore, which was probably red at the time, might even have been yellow, we have the black and purple bungees at the top, but look how steep the red, the blue, the green and the yellow are. That tells you this is a strong move. It's highly likely it's got further to go. And then we get a mini stretch away, black and purple, small bit of the red, and it continues the journey. Okay, and you will learn to read these nuances. You really will. All you have to do is pay it some attention. And these things almost become second nature. Now this is an even better one, this breakout three here. And the reason it's a better one is that the stretch away on the way down is a snapback that changes into a snapback in the opposite a stretch away in the opposite direction. This is quite complex. Let's look at this. But it's a superb setup. Yeah. Bungee stretch away. Bungee failed snapback. Tells you you're going higher. Yeah. Next thing. Bungee stretch away. Bungee snapback creates a stretch away to the opposite side. Look, we've snapped back with the red and the blue to the bottom, But in doing so, we've left the green behind at the top or above in the upper half of the channel. So this snapback here is going back up to the green. These are superb, these trades. If you ever get one like that, that's a good clue that we're breaking out of a channel. Yeah, bungee stretch away, everything's above the yellow, stretched away there, results in a stretch away of the red and the blue from the green. Now, obviously on this chart, we have another clue, which I have not listed here, which I'm a bit remiss of me, but I should have done. And we've been through this so many times. We're looking for an upper yellow semaphore. Okay, another one. A retrace to the wave and a breakout three. A bungee stretch away and a bungee snap back. Yeah. But look at these bungee divergences. Higher low, higher low, lower low, lower low. This has got to go up. Yeah? It just has to. Okay, breakout two. Not seeing much of the chart here, but we're looking for a continuation lower. Here's a wave one, here's a wave two. We're looking for coming lower. Okay. Sorry, I've got that upside down. There's the one, there's the two, there's the breakout two for a wave three going up. Yeah. And look at that bungee pinch at the bottom. It's very similar to the previous slide, is this? Very similar. Bungee pinch, and we're looking for a yellow semaphore, hopefully a noble if the yellow bungee continues its journey to the top. It's highly likely to. With this snap back up to the green, it's going to draw the yellow higher. Okay. Here we've got wave two, not strictly as a pinch, but a weak stretch away. Yeah, so a weak stretch away usually involves continuing in a direction. So all that information we've just run through, going through some live charts, examining specific examples of wavy tunnel trades, what does it mean? It means when you see situations on the bungee and the wave and the tunnel and the semaphores, it can help you resolve a conflict in your analysis if you're not sure which way things are going. Yeah, you might have an Elliott wave count that says you're going one way and a harmonic pattern that says, no, 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 this has got to go the other way. And you have a choice of two or three different support and resistance levels, you're not sure which is going to be the active one. Well, by using the Bungee and the Semaphores, you're going to know the most likely point for things to turn around. It confirms or denies a wavy tunnel trade setup. Yeah. For example, on a wave 3, a breakout 3, if you don't get the Bungee snapback, it's probably not a breakout 3. Yeah, so it helps confirm or deny your wave tunnel trades. And it just gives you additional confidence. And it is possible to trade the Bungee and the Semaphores on their own. And that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow. Yeah, in the final session on this. Okay, so I hope you found all that useful. We will do some questions if you wish. All I can say to you is, you just try it, just use it, get used to looking at it. It's not a confusing set of lines, isn't the Bungee? And the Semaphores related to the Bungee are all telling you something. So that's what we'll be doing tomorrow. And we'll have another question and answer session tomorrow, a bigger one if you like. But I'm happy to take questions now, if there are any. Well, silly, there will be some. Could I review the pinch and the squeeze? You're having a hard time with the pinch. Yeah, okay. It's not difficult. You're going to see a Bungee pinch at the end of a wave 3 at an awesome oscillator peak. And all it is at the extreme, the upper reversal zone or the lower reversal zone, you're going to see all the Bungees come together, all one on top of the other. Yeah, and you might see it at other times as well. But there they are. This is the awesome oscillator block that it relates to. And within that block, yeah, that's the high, that's the candle high. So that high relates to that awesome oscillator peak. And within that, we've got a Bungee pinch followed by the Bungees coming together, not quite on top of each other, and again, not quite on top of each other. So that would be a pinch, these would be a squeeze. Okay, all within the same awesome oscillator block. That's an absolutely superb clue. Yeah, and if you're not 100% familiar with awesome oscillator divergence, let's just explore that. The awesome oscillator peak is there, but it relates to that high. Yeah. So when you're looking for awesome oscillator divergence and awesome oscillator peak, you have to establish an awesome oscillator block that's above the line. and then the highest price or the lowest price if it's the other way up. Highest price relates to the highest point on the oscillator. They very rarely happen on the same candle. The Bungee indicator is downloaded for MT4 from FX Traders Edge website. Yeah. Along with all the others. Everything you see on this page, on this chart, all these are the indicators that come from FX Traders Edge. I think there's Juan's been very good to set up a template and they will automatically load into MT4. There has been work done for some other platforms. I'm not sure which it'll work on or which it won't work on. But at the end of the day, there is absolutely nothing wrong with having an MT4 chart open just to refer to, even if you prefer using a different platform. And I know quite a few people who do that, and I very often have more than one MT4 platform open. I can have as many as 3 open, doing different jobs, and that will be the subject of a quick webinar in the new year. Yeah, there's either there's a bug in the software, Snorri, or there's some irresolvable conflict when you're trying to achieve what we're trying to achieve with these semaphores, and we occasionally get floaters and sinkers. Let's try and find one so everybody knows what we're talking about. There's one. Yeah, there is a grey arrow telling us it's the end of a trend move, and yet it's out in the middle of fresh air. Yeah, and it probably should have printed there but didn't. And mine's far better at programming than mine is. Have tried to resolve this, but every now and again it throws that in. And if you deal with a currency pair or an instrument that isn't 5 digits after the point, or all the digits are before the point, if it's only 2 digits after the point, you can get an increasing number of them. I don't let it worry me. I really don't. In my head, that's on top of that. If I see that situation. And if it doesn't appear in time, it's unfortunate. It doesn't happen very often, but there you go. Blue Bungee reading is more subtle, it seems. Deemed to value for viewing. Yeah, I used to know somebody who traded the Blue Bungee. Yeah, between upper and lower reversal zones. And his motto was, if the Blue Bungee's heading lower, then I'm in shorts. If the Blue Bungee's heading higher, then I'm going long. And he used to trade the Blue Bungee up and down the channel. Here's a nice example of the Blue Bungee coming down from the top for a wave A, the Blue Bungee going up for a wave B, and the Blue Bungee coming down for a wave C. And all the time, the green bungee is moving down for the complete move. So when you see that going on in the bungee, it helps you know what's going on with price action. Yeah, just let me try and find another example of that. here is a little bit more complex, but it's there. Red bungee to the bottom, red bungee goes back up, red bungee continues back down to the bottom, and all that time the blue is heading to the bottom. It's the same thing, but on a smaller scale. Let's try and find another if we can. It's just a case of flipping through the charts. I'll tell you, the more attention you pay to this bungee, the easier it gets. It really does. Yeah, I'm trying to look for a really clear example for you. It's difficult to see, isn't it, when it's like that? When it doesn't happen, you get some nice bungee divergence, and that's really useful in its own right. But that's all impulsive going up there. It's going to be impulsive everywhere, I think. Well, we might find one tomorrow. Yeah, we might find one tomorrow. But many times in the trading room, we've looked at the red bungee coming down, the red bungee going back up, the blue bungees come so far, and we know that's going to be a failed snapback, a continuation lower, and the blue and the red will meet at the bottom. And it's just a three-wave move. We've seen it so many times. Hang on. Snorri says, if you're waiting for a noble or royal semaphore and you get a grey or purple arrow, which is far from the yellow underneath or above, would you consider you've got the semaphore that you were waiting for? Yes. Yes. Quite often, if one had appeared up here, for example, eventually it comes right. So that they probably appear more frequently than they finally settle on, if you know what I mean, in that they do very often move to the right and become a real one. But just deal with it. It doesn't put me off at all. Yeah. I'm just extra cautious. There will be other reasons to believe that it's going to move to the right or it's not going to move to the right, such as, what's the bungee doing? Yeah. If we've got a floating yellow semaphore up here and the green bungee hasn't yet gone to the top, well, we know it's not the end because the green bungee has to get to the top as well, in which case the floating yellow is going to move to the right, and then everything will all click into place properly. And they don't happen that often. Yeah. Not on currency pairs with 5 decimal places in the price. So don't worry about it. Far more important that you look at the history behind a move, okay? For example, over here, if we look only at the coal face on the bungee, it doesn't tell us enough. Yeah, but if we look back in time, we can see that the yellow bungee has been to the bottom of the channel for a noble semaphore, and the yellow bungee appears to be, it's crossed halfway, it's going nice and steep, appears to be heading for the top of the channel now. That would be its normal flow, top to bottom, bottom to top, top to bottom, bottom to top. Yeah. So we'd be looking for this to go higher, and well, I'll stick my neck out. We will get a matching noble, and it will turn down and go for a royal. Okay, you can follow this Euro USD 1 hour chart. Yeah, price should go a bit higher because we need the yellow bungee at the top. When it gets there, we should see a noble semaphore to match that. When we've got the noble semaphore, whoops, we need to come down for a royal. We knew we were coming down for a royal. Here. So at that point, the high probability was that we did not go higher than that until after we've come lower than that. And I like it when it gives us a decent retrace like this, because our stop loss is going to be relatively small and our profit relatively large. And there is not a wavy tunnel trade to be had along here. Yeah, this is a no trade zone as far as the wavy tunnel is concerned. There isn't a price to wave. Well, there might be actually, as this moves further away from the wave. It might be the start of the move down here would be a price to wave. There's no fill the gap because we haven't had a price to wave yet. No breakout fall because we're not near the tunnel. No breakout one. That might have been a breakout one over here with the wave crossing the tunnel. But this, it's debatable whether it is. Well, it just isn't, is it? That one. No breakout 2. No breakout 3. When the tunnel's inside the wave and they're relatively flat and price is weaving around, you need to just be patient. Yeah, exactly. That's what you would do. You would stick your fibbo on there, and 78.6 or 88.6, as you suggest, would be an excellent level. If that coincides with the yellow bungee at the top and it coincides with a noble semaphore on price, the chances are that's where it's going to turn around. Yeah, so the bungee and the semaphores are helping you identify which fibbo level. It's right, drawing a fibbo, yeah, and saying, well, yeah, we've got all these levels, but quite often we don't know if it's going to bounce off the 61.8, the 78.6, or the 88.6. And by looking at the bungee and the semaphores and what's most high probability going to happen, then it helps us, doesn't it? identify which of the level price will respect. Okay, any more questions? I don't think I've missed any. All I can say to you is about this, it's become second nature to me. If I don't see a chart that looks like this, I struggle to find out what's going on, because all this means so much. It really does. Okay, well, if there's no more questions, we're going to leave it at that. Tomorrow, Royal Bungee trade, Royal Yellow trendline trade. These are trades using the Bungee and the Semaphores in their own right. Yeah, which just really confirms. And if you've not seen these, if you don't come into the rooms and you haven't listened to the recordings from the rooms, believe me, it's going to blow you away as to how you can trade using these two indicators. The odds of success are phenomenal. So I look forward to showing you all that tomorrow. Same time, same place. Thank you everyone for attending. Oh yes, Ralph, absolutely I do. Pulled back from the brink there. Yeah, absolutely I do. It just happens so many times. Look there. Yeah. There's the low for the purple bungee. We've got a lower low and it moves higher. A lower low and it's still divergent. A lower low and it's still divergent. Yeah, that bungee there was telling you this is coming to an end and it's ready to go. Let's have a look at any other. Purple bungee there, divergent to this spike. You'd expect it with a spike. Yeah, it's actually it's a bit jagged there, moving around. Let's have a look if we can see one on the H4. They're all over the place, they really are. Yeah, look at it there on the left of the chart. Big red candle down, purple extreme, lower low. But the purple's turned up. That was the end. Uncannily predictive for a lagging indicator. Okay, just watch for it. Just watch for it. Here, same again. Red candle down. Lower low for that red candle, but during that red candle, look what the purple bungee's done. It's turned up again. Uncannily predictive. Glad you brought that one up. Yeah, it's been the subject of a previous webinars on the bungee. So I didn't repeat it this time, but yes, it's useful. Okay, that's it. Last question. If you've any more, save them for tomorrow, please. we got to go. Let's close the recording down. Thank you everyone for being here. Thanks for the questions, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye guys.